Afrikaans. What does it look like? What does it sound like? And how does it work? Here's a page from a novel in Afrikaans. If you remember the previous video about Dutch, or if you have any other acquaintance with Dutch from having spent time in Western Europe where it has an active living presence, and then you were confronted with this page and tried to identify it, your first guess would probably be to wonder whether or not this was Dutch. And you would be on the right track because Afrikaans is, or at least was, a variety of Dutch that immigrated from Holland to South Africa 300 years ago, and since then has developed some distinctive features and been subject to other historical influences, but which still, I know from personal experience, has an extremely high degree of mutual intelligibility with Dutch. It's perfectly possible to have a conversation, one partner speaking Dutch, the other speaking Afrikaans. And I think that it would be a very fascinating topic for a thesis or a dissertation to take New World Spanish, English, French, Portuguese, and compare them with Afrikaans, which alone of these immigrants has a separate name now, is considered a separate language, and to compare and contrast them on various linguistic levels to see if there's any truly any greater degree of difference between Afrikaans and Dutch than there is, say, between Portuguese from the continent and Brazilian Portuguese. Again, my feeling, based on experience, is that there is not any greater barrier to communication, at least in speech, and I think in writing too, that if you can read Dutch, you should certainly be able to read this page. But what I'm about to show and explain will give food for the argument that they are more distinct, they are more different, because written Afrikaans is more different, I think, from written Dutch than these other languages are. For comparative purposes, let's look at that same page of Dutch that we had last time and recall the distinctive features of Dutch, which were these double vowels all over the pages, two A's, two O's, two U's written together all the time. Then there was the distinctive feature of the complete or almost complete lack of accented characters, of vowels with diacritical markers of any kind. And then there was also the distinctive feature of the letter combination IJ, which you can find all over any given Dutch page. So let's look for these things on this page of Afrikaans. Well, we do find the double vowels written quite just as much as all over these pages as over a Dutch page, so you can see the link there. But let's see if there's a lack of accents. Well, no, there's not. Here's an accented character, and here's another one, and another one, and another one, and another one. They're not all over this page as they are in some languages, but there are lots of accented characters on any given page of Afrikaans. And if we look for the IJ combination, we're not going to find that. If you know exactly where to look for it, you'll see that it's been systematically replaced by a Y, and that represents the same sound, but the IJ is not there. And if we're looking for something distinctively Afrikaans that we can remember as we were looking over this page for the IJ and the accents and the like, did you notice all these freestanding apostrophes before an N? That's the indefinite article, and that sort of catches the eye, I think, that you can see these freestanding apostrophes as a distinctive characteristic feature of Afrikaans. So there you have it. That's what an Afrikaans page looks like. What does it sound like, and how does it work? Well, it sounds and works something like this. Sy het nie altyd so gelyk nie. Sy, she, het, had, nie, not, altyd, always, so, or like that, gelyk, looked, nie, not. So she had not always looked like that. Daar was 'n tyd, daar moet 'n tyd gewees het, toe die gesig wat uit die spieël terugkyk het, anders was. There was, an, tyd, time, there, moet, must, in, a, tyd, time, gewees, have been, het, have, to, when, die, the, gesig, face, wat, which, out, die, the, spieël, mirror, terugkyk, looked back, het, had, anders, different, was. So there was a time, there must have been a time, when the face that looked back out of the mirror was different. In skoeheid, ja, dit altyd. Bedoesheid, vrees, dikwijls pijn, verschriktheid misschien. In skoeheid, shyness, ja, yes, dit, that, altijd, always. Bedoesheid, flabbergastedness, vrees, fear. Dikwijls, sometimes, often, pijn, pain. Verschriktheid, being terrified, misschien, perhaps. She always looked shy, certainly, and flabbergasted and afraid and in pain and terrified, perhaps. Maar nog altijd anders. En nie net oor haar hare eens op een tyd lang was en glo mooi nie, maar een andersheid wat verder strek as die vanzelfsprekende, iewers achter die gevlekte en gebarste oppervlak. Maar, but, nog, still, altijd, always, anders, differently. In and nie, not, net, only, or, because, haar, her, hare, hair, eens, once, op, on, a date, once upon a time, lang, long, was, in, and, glo, believed, mooi, to be pretty, nie, not, maar, but, een andersheid, a difference, wat, which, further, strek, goes, as, than, die, the, vanzelfsprekende, of itself speaking, iewers, somewhere, achter, behind, die, the, gevlekte, spotted, in, and, gebarste, burst, broken, oppervlak, over surface. But still always differently, and not only because once upon her time her hair was long and believed to be pretty, but a difference that went further than the self-evident, somewhere behind the dirty and spotted and broken surface. So that's an idea of the structure of Afrikaans, and I think maybe you noticed one really distinctive feature of the grammar. I think you see in the first sentence right there, zij het nie altyd so gelyk nie, the double negative in a Germanic language. That's a distinctive characteristic of Afrikaans. Let's compare it now, just for the sake of seeing how it looks and sounds contrasted with another Germanic language, with German itself. Okay, here's a interlingual text from a teaching manual for German. Opstaan, aufstehen. Jan van der Merwe is een boerszoon. Jan van der Merwe is een farmerzoon. Dag voor dag staan hij op. Voor tal en tag steht auf. Hij moet die zwaar werk achter de rug hier, voordat die hitte van die zon te onaangenaam raakt. Muss die schwere Arbeit hinter dem Rücken haben, ehe die Hitze der Sonne zu unangenehm trifft. Vinnig trekt hij hem an. Schnell sieht sich an. Ein Quartier later ist hij al buiten op die Werf. Eine Viertelstunde später ist schon draußen auf dem Hof. Hij lau die Volk nach hun Werk toe mit die Grootgrok unter die Doornboom. Läutet das Volk an seine Arbeit mit der großen Glocke unter dem Dornbaum. Daarna telt hij die schapen en bokken uit die kraal. Dan zählt die Schafe und Ziegen aus dem Kraal. I think my time is up, so I have to stop, and we will remember this, though, for comparison with another West Germanic language.